you said you were frustrated by bookkeeping. I'm sure if you've ever managed a person in your business, and then at the end of the month or bi-weekly, they wanted a paycheck, and you're like, oh crap, how do I do this? That's a whole new skill set that you have to read up upon. You have to know the current legislation. Someone's got sick due to COVID. Now, how do you manage that? So the tip I have here is really just outsource it. There's very low cost ways to outsource your payroll to services like JB Funk Consulting. Payworks is a software-based company that will do it for you. Even QuickBooks has software that will do the payroll, at least if you did it yourself. It will help you to organize that payroll. And then at the end of the year, you have to file those T4s. So it's a complicated thing, and a lot of business owners I find get behind on the tax man with their payroll source deductions.
Yeah, it can be kind of complicated, especially with government websites and trying to do it yourself. And it's Friday, and the painters want their paycheck, So outsourcing the payroll, does that cost a lot? Is that a big endeavor?
It's reasonable for a small business. I think I ran this number by you again, is managing by the numbers. You should allocate 3% of your revenues to accounting and bookkeeping in general. So if you set aside 3% for accounting and bookkeeping, that should cover the cost for all these services that I've described. But for specifically to outsource payroll, it depends on the number of employees you have.
We've got a question from the chat, which is interesting. How much should I be setting aside for covering stat holidays, EI, WCB, and such things like that?
12%.
12%.
Yeah, of that employee's wage. So if he's at $20 an hour,
set aside 12%.
$2. Yeah.
And that will basically cover. Now we're in Canada right now. Does this apply to Americans in America, or is it totally different for each jurisdiction, or is that just a general guideline that everybody should do?
Yeah, you got 4% vacation pay. So government taxes that the employer has to remit is probably a little cheaper in the US, say another 4% there. So Canada, a little more, 12%, US, 8%.